record.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Josh from Where Evil Resides, here with my good friend Louie from the Clintonville Slasher, and together we make the Dead of Night broadcast. I know a lot of you people have probably been wondering where we've been for so freaking long, but we have come back together for a very special occasion.
Yes, we have. The ending of an era. Stranger Things. Season 5.
And to think, like, was it season 3 or season
4?
It was. I think it was season 3, or was it 4 that we did together with Julie?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Oh man, 4. It felt like forever ago.
Yeah, I know it did.
That's true because there was Vecna. So.
Yeah.
Damn. But so much happened in this season, I think, and it was longer episodes and an even longer finale.
Yeah.
But lot to unpack. First off, what was your overall thoughts of season 5?
My overall thoughts is I loved it. There was things in there that were amazing that you didn't know from the beginning, that you never thought of. The character development, the character arc, where everybody ended up at the end was perfectly written. The very tail ending, the very last shot in the show, and the last episode was probably one of my favorites. I know a lot of people are like, "This is terrible. This is terrible. We don't like it." I can't see why. And it's, if you've seen this, then it's like, because they didn't kill Steve Harrington, like. Why? They haven't killed off a main character of the entire series, so why would they start now? I love the fact that they all did.
And yeah, and it's a lot. That's what a lot of shows do. They kill off a lot of the people that you care about. Anybody can do that. It takes better writing, I think, in my opinion, to make it so that all your protagonists make it, because we all want to see them make it. They've had their childhood taken from them. Their whole childhood was consumed with fighting these creatures from another dimension, and they had to grow up real quick, during that time.
From the get-go, they're like 9 years old. Yeah, and I liked it. Right? I liked everybody's happy ending. I like the happy ending. I don't understand the hatred for it. One thing I can take from the season 5 is I love the fact that Linda Hamilton was in this. That fight between her and David Harper in the Upside Down lab and the military base, fucking awesome. I wish they would have gave her a better ending instead of just she just cuts away and then she's just gone. I think that she could have got a way better ending. I feel like, but I mean, whatever. She's just gone. The military just moved on. I don't know. It would have been cool to see her get arrested or shot or something. Travel back.
Right, because they all thought that. And it's a very ambiguous ending with how it plays out. So then everything just seems so clean cut and dry at the very the end of the action sequence, and that transition between blowing up the Upside Down or the wormhole, and then to their normal life. It's so clean cut, like you said, just boom, army's gone, boom, everything's back to normal.
Yeah. But I don't think that did the military really know that the Upside Down was actually a wormhole and not a different dimension? Did they know that, or was it just stumble? I took it as Dustin just stumbled upon Brenner's work, but you would think that the military would have some sort of idea of what it was. So maybe they did know that it was a wormhole, because I don't think them not searching Hawkins Labs for any sort of information, they would overlook that. So. But I don't know, the wall thing's weird, because where has this wall been the whole time? That's what weirded me out about it. I was like, why is this random wall? If it's been around the Upside Down this whole time, then where has it been all the seasons? I didn't get that. I like the idea that it is a wormhole and it's not dimension, but you got the abyss, and that Henry stretched out for a way to him to get to Hawkins and back without, he made the Upside Down, which makes sense, because he came back in 1983 when Will is taken, and when he takes Will, he sends the Demigorgon after him, but the Demigorgons don't have powers, but the lock falls off by itself in season 1 when Will is being taken. So I think that's just Vecna unlocking so the Demigorgon get in. So it would make sense that that Hawkins is frozen in time in 83. So that would make sense to me, but I just why I don't know. It's just that was weird to me.
Yeah, well, and I think maybe like one explanation for the wall is that maybe there's so much like land to cover. Obviously, they had a lot of room to roam in the Upside Down, and maybe they had never just ever gotten to a point where they reached that wall. Like, I'm just spitballing, but like, they always popped up in certain places in the Upside Down, like Henry Creel's house, or, or like the school, like, like certain points. So I bet you like in going through those, so maybe they had never gone through the whole vastness of the Upside Down and run into that wall, so they had nothing to
Upside Down in in season 4 when they went through the water, because didn't the wall reach around it or something like that? I thought the wall like stretched around it, and they would have saw it there. But maybe I misread that. I mean, it's not that important of a detail. Like, I'm not gonna like dissect the entire show on that, but it would have been nicer if it would have been like leaned in a little bit more, like maybe mention it in season 4 and kind of like give us something to like look forward to. Like, we instead of just dropping it on everybody, like, everything about the Upside Down is wrong. And I was like, okay, well then that's cool. But now I like the idea that this is just a giant wormhole in space and time. But they've gone to Hawkins Labs in the Upside Down, haven't they? When they see this giant ball of matter. And I didn't get why it was melting.
Right. Totally true. I mean, I'm not sure, because I'm pretty sure, they've been. I'm sure they've been there before. I'm trying to remember back. I was like,
they blew the gate was at Hawkins Lab. That gate right there was at Hawkins Lab, so they would have had to seen that.
Right.
And where did it start? I don't. They dropped way too much into your lap without a lot of backstory. It's like, well, and then they said that it was like the first time Mike ever went into the Upside Down. I was reading that online, and I was like, I don't think that's right, because he was in the tunnels in season 2, so he's been in the Upside Down.
Yeah. And to your earlier statement, what I kind of was thinking too was, how Dustin stumbled on Brenner's journal. Kind of was like, guys, this is what I mean. Like, this is my theory based on his work. I feel like, because when the military comes in, they find out what their plan is. Like, they see that whiteboard with all the info on it. I bet you if they didn't know about the wormhole then, they knew it after that point, because everything was kind of laid out there. Like, this is what we're doing. We're gonna, when this part of the world or like comes down where the worlds are going to collide, we're going to do this. And so I'm sure if they didn't know before, they knew then. But no, I mean, overall, I really enjoyed. It was like an emotional roller coaster too. This season, especially the ending. I mean, I don't know. It got me the nostalgia feels, and hit me right in the heartstrings on like that ending.
That last conversation between Mike and 11, that's what got me right there. Was when 11 was saying goodbye to Mike, she pulled him into her mind, and she's never done that before, and that I knew right there that she was dead. I was like, man, but I love how they left the open ending question is, if you believe, that's up to you, you as the story listener. it's up to you to interpret it that way. And a lot of people are like, I hate that. It was a good ending. It's a really good ending, because you can believe it that 11 lived, and it makes sense, and that's cool. But like, you don't have to base your entire existence around it. It's not that big of a deal. Like, people are like actually mad the way that ended, and I was like, I don't see why. I mean, you got so much good stuff in this. You got fucking Super Vecna. You got Will's getting powers. That's fucking neat. You got Will controlling his mind. You got the guy, everybody at the Squawk shocking a Demigorgon back to life, which is fucking rad. You got Kali that comes back, although I think that her... Huh?
Oh, when you said the Demigorgon shocked back to life, I was thinking of Frankenstein. I was like, it's alive!
Oh, yeah. But yeah, Kali comes back, and it's just pointless. Like, that wasn't really a thing. Like, what was she gonna do to Henry? I mean, all she could do, she can't have a mind fight with him. But I guess it's cool they had to bring her back for something. But I guess they just brought her back for that, like, tail ending part where, she could get her, away in safety. But I don't know. I also like the idea of Eleven just sacrificing herself too. I like that she gets that ending, and that, Hopper's okay with it. He even says to Mike at that last part, you can choose which road you want to go down. One will eat you alive, and the other one you can just accept her decision. You don't have to like it, but you can accept it. And I think that's a really good ending for him. And him and Joyce getting married, I thought that was cool. And the last D&D game and passing the torch, I thought that was great too.
Yeah. I think too, like the little piece that Kali played was also like, he did give some information to them and to Elle, like, like that they were impregnating multiple women with like these super children. Yeah. And kind of revealing some things, I think, to 11.
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't like a huge role, but I feel like they shoehorned that in there just so like she could know, like, hey, it's my blood that they're using because they can't use Henry Creel's blood anymore, but Henry Creel's blood's in me.
And 11, and it's the one. Henry Creel is the reason that they all got powers. The rock, though, where young Henry Creel finds the rock and it seeps into the bullet wound in his hand, and then he gets powers. I didn't understand that. I was like, okay, so where did the rock come from? Whatever. But it's the Mind Flayer. But I read that somewhere that, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it's the key detail to the spinoff, and that you get more answers in the spinoff. So, I don't know. If
I heard that there's the Broadway show.
I heard that too. There is a Broadway show.
Yeah, they said the Broadway show is called The First Shadow, and it's like dives a little more into Henry Creel's history.
Okay.
And that they kind of gave you some cliff notes in the show, but I guess if you see that Broadway show, it gives you a lot more information, is what I've heard.
Okay.
So that would be interesting to know maybe a little more. I mean, because we kind of got the summarized version of everything in the show.
Yeah.
Because I understand, I get it, like, right, no, like, that's kind of what I thought too, until I saw that whole scene with him, like, stealing the briefcase and the rock inside. But it's like, was that just like a piece, like, did they go into the Upside Down at that point and like retrieve that rock, and it was like harboring?
Yeah, the Upside Down wouldn't exist until after Henry Creel got powers, because because Vecna is the one who made the Upside Down. So to like as a bridge to get back back to the Abyss and then to Hawkins. So he's the one who made that bridge. But so I don't know where they got the rock from. you know. But they did say that there is different wormholes, different portals you can open. You know, it's not just the Upside Down. There's different dimensions you can open to, you know.
Right. Oh, you froze up a little bit, but the doctor says, like, you know, it will consume every. Oh, no worries. It just froze, so I was like, didn't know if you stopped talking or if you were still in the middle of your conversation or your thought. So, but what happened, I noticed, is that, like, you know, right before he kills the scientist says, it will consume you. It will consume everything. Like it. So it's obviously the way it's portrayed as the Mind Flayer is consuming these other dimensions. And moving from dimension to dimension. It's kind of like, I don't know what movie I'm thinking of. I almost said It, but, like, you know, it's a consumer of worlds. I forget what movie I'm thinking of, but, like,
sounds like It.
So this thing is interdimensionally going. Yeah. It's going interdimensionally from place to place and consuming all its resources and then moving on to the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, you probably just explained every sci-fi movie ever. But... What's that? Contact?
I was saying, so they must have made some kind of contact with some kind of interdimensional way to get that rock. Who knows how? But somewhere, somehow, they got a hold of that. I mean, I wish I knew the answers to that, but I don't know. It's just, it's unexplained. You don't, but it's interesting that he tells Henry, the Mind Flayer whispers to Henry when he has that, he's like, come find me. Like, where's he chilling at? Where's the Mind Flayer chilling? Is it just in the rock, or like where?
Like, it's in the abyss, where 11 blasts him into the abyss, just with her mind, and just blasts him away. And then he ends up in a different dimension, and the Mind Flayer's there, and then he turns into Gross Vecna and makes and he just becomes, you know, Weirdo Vecna, and makes his big spider lair. Which, that was cool too. I thought that was awesome. I love Nancy in this. I love Nancy since like Nancy's been a gun-toting psychopath since season 1, but like Nancy in this just shooting people and fucking shooting the fucking super spider with her machine gun, and everybody, Jonathan with his flamethrower. That was cool. That was a cool thing.
Yeah. Oh, and not to mention, to mention the Wheelers, like Karen came through like hardcore, like the fact that she stood up to the Demigorgon, and then
with
the fact that she blew up the Demigorgons in the hospital, like
that was so awesome.
Yeah, like straight up.
Wheeler came in and did.
I think a lot of people. Yeah, she stepped up in a lot of ways. I think there was a lot of arcs that I feel like finally came to their peak, you know, like you were working it up, ramping it up through the seasons, and then like everybody finally had they finished it. Like, look at Dustin, he had to overcome like what was going on. He was still clutching to like Eddie, you know, like a safety blanket. Like, he was getting into fights and everything, but then he realized that he still had that best friend in Steve, and he could miss Eddie, but like it was just, you could tell it was like consuming him the whole season. Like,
he was pretty upset, and it's understandable why. And then he didn't want to lose Steve, so he's like, stop, you know. But I think they needed to have that brother fight, you know, to get it all out and then get them to where they needed to be, because I think Dustin needed his ass kicked a little bit, you know, by somebody who was a friend and not somebody looking to cause trouble. Now I wish that Steve would have like found those guys and whipped the shit out of him, but
everything seemed to wrap up really neatly, you know, especially because they only took so much time to do the whole season. I felt like the season even could have been longer, but like the fact that they were able to cram what they did and the time that they had, I mean, I was pretty happy with how things ended and
Yeah,
the very ambiguous ending.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great ending. I thought that very last scene where they're all playing D&D, and then and then he kind of tells them what they're going to do with their lives. And I thought that it was cool. They gave everybody a happy ending, and then they just, put their books away. Uh-oh. Josh disappeared. I'm the only one here. I don't know what happened to Josh, but I will take it from here, I guess. Yeah. Josh, you disappeared, man. Oh, here he comes. He's coming back. Yeah, I see a circle. Hey, what I was saying is, like, I really thought that ending was really great, where everybody gets something out of it. There you are.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that scene just like kind of destroyed me a little bit when once the song that was playing in the beginning of the show like started kicking in and like a little sadder tone. I was like, oh man, because I started watching in like 2017, but that was like I've been watching it since then, and it's been such a journey over like the years.
Yeah, I remember when it first came out too, and I saw they were talking about it, and a lot of people online, I remember reading that, and that was before I started YouTube. A lot of people were like, oh, this show is going to suck. This is going to suck. I was 3 episodes in, and I was convinced that it was written by Stephen King because it had that, that cool vibe to it. And it was just dripping in 80s awesomeness, and it was cool. It was like, you took all the like sci-fi horror elements from the and stuck it back in the 80s, and made these characters and made these kids that were fucking cool, and then they stumble upon this weird girl in the woods that could like move shit with her mind, and then their friends taken, and it was a cool show. And then season 2, everybody was into it. They were like they tried to count it out, but I was like, this show is going to go on for a while. And yeah, I've been watching since season 1. I've rewatched this entire series probably 4 or 5 times. I think I'm up to 6 because I just started season 1 again.
Yeah, I was watching some of the previous seasons again to kind of like ramp myself up, and I only made it to like partway through season 3 before like the first episodes dropped. I'm like, well, I'm not missing these episodes, so I guess I'm stopping on season 3, jumping right back into season 5. So, but yeah I've enjoyed it this whole time, and it was cool. Like the first episode, seeing like a little more of Will in the Upside Down and what he was going through, right? Like after being abducted. Right. And just like how much more badass he was than we thought. Like, he was like jumping and climbing trees and shooting a gun, and like, he was he was fucking Superman cool. Out there.
What was tough from the very beginning, and they had picked on poor Will.
Yeah.
I liked
for sure
his coming out scene too. I thought it was written really well. I thought it was a good story arc for him to come out and like be himself. And I was waiting for that whole thing to him to say it. And I'm glad that he got that moment and everybody embraced him for it, and all of his fears just ran away. And I thought that was fucking awesome for his character, for him personally. I thought it was a really good scene. It was a really good episode.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense, because I'm sure back in those days it was much harder to like come out of the closet about your sexuality at that time. Now it's not. People still have like fears about coming out, but it's not as you're not going to get as ripped apart as you would back in like the 70s or the 80s. Like
even the 90s.
Yeah, like, so I understand like why he had so much fear and anxiety about it, and that Vecna was like feeding off of that, and like forcing him and like to be this cowering, sniveling person like throughout the seasons. Like, especially how he acted in season 4, he was like, not coming out about it, crying about it. Like, he just Vecna had him by the balls, for a lack of a better word. But to finally come to terms with yourself and, you know, let it out and not let it consume you anymore, is that it was good for him to finally overcome it and become the, you know, the Will that we knew he could be.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. I love the fact Holly Wheeler getting her own like storyline. Fuck, that was awesome. And the actress that played her was fucking amazing. I didn't know that was a different actress other than the twins from the first season. I thought that was actually the kid from the first season. I didn't know that. But yeah, they got a totally different actor. It's like a year younger than the twins were. But I loved her whole storyline. Escape from Camazotz is my favorite episode in the entire series. You know, there's so many good moments, but that episode from start to end was awesome. You know, and I thought she did an amazing job. I thought Karen Wheeler turned into a total badass bitch. It was great, and I love the fact that like Ted Wheeler was just this, you know, normal fucking dude that had no idea what was going on the entire show. He had no clue. You know, I love that the entire series mimicked 80. They took a lot of like movies that were from the 80s, and made them like wove them into this show. So you like when you saw it, you're like, oh, cool. You know, especially like Terminator or like season 3, the bad Russian dude with the bum leg when he's walking around. That guy is basically, he dresses and talks like the Terminator. So like you could totally tell. I love season 3, and I don't think there's a season I don't like. You know, I like the entire season of 3. I just think it's a really good one. That's where you get to see more of Steve and Dustin as friends and their friendship grow, and you get to meet Robin, and you get to see evil Russians, and you know I think that's where Eleven's powers were the most, you know, peaked, because she was able to rip the Mind Flayer in half with her mind. That was crazy.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed every season. I mean, I don't, looking back at it, like every season had its like really, really good moments. And it all tied together. You know, people were like, I've heard so many complaints about like the seasons and cramming stuff and like it being disjointed and kind of just not coherently flowing. But I feel like everything lined up the way it should. You learn something new every season that you didn't know about the season before. Right. And like it just, everything I feel like flowed in a really good direction, all the way to the finish line. I don't feel like it was disjointed at all. Each season needed its room to breathe. Yeah. You know,
each season is a different element. You know, it's the same story with like a different. There's something different going on. You know, there's a new problem, and like you said, there's like shit that you didn't know about. You know, like we didn't know Joyce and Henry Creel even knew each other, and now it turns out they went to school together. You know, where was that information the whole time? You know, but what I mean, that's a small mute detail that wasn't really supposed to really mean anything. I loved Winona Ryder in the show. I think that at the very end of the show, when she got to cut off Vecna's head with an axe, and everybody had something taken from Vecna, and it kind of showed that. I thought that was awesome. And the first time they said "we're fucked,"
you know, it's so. You know, it's so funny that you said that, because that's exactly what I was about to mention, was that ending, and that every time she hacked away, you could see like different moments from different seasons where like something was going on, like, you know, them having to heat up the room and burn the Mind Flayer out of Will, and everything that they suffered through. Yeah, everything they suffered through every season, just getting hacked away with every like cut into his neck with that axe was like
Yeah.
kind of like a weight lifting off their shoulders, and like, you know, this is the moment we've been waiting for since this crap started going down.
Yeah.
And it felt good that she got that, because I feel like she lost a lot, like especially with Will going through like the struggles that he went through with the mind flare for that whole time, like him bouncing back and forth and being like controlled by the hive mind, and like having these flashes, and like she lost the most, I feel like in that show too. Like, so it was well deserved. I mean, I loved the fight scene. I loved that like Will came in clutch, like, you know, behind Elle, and like he's like, "We're not afraid of you anymore. I'm not afraid of you." Like, and he snaps off his arm, and
11
you know,
pushes him through everything. Spike. Why is that spike there?
Right.
Though? Like, why is that there inside of a spider's belly? But you think that if you made this thing like with your mind, that it would be completely in, that no one could hurt it? Like, that's what I would do if I was Vecna. I was like, well, if I'm going to take over this world, I'm going to make sure that this thing I built with my mind is completely, you know, no one can destroy it, because that thing just went down so easily.
Right. So the cool thing I learned, because I haven't really played, was that in Dungeons and Dragons, the Eye of Vecna and the Hand of Vecna are important. Like, they're like very important in the game, like in regards to the character. So I feel like that was very important. That's why they hacked off his arm and his head.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
I don't know.
I've never played either.
Yeah, that's what I was reading, was somebody had mentioned that, and I was like, huh, they paid attention to detail, you know, when it comes to like, not only because they did such a good service to the game, you know, especially for people that love that game. I heard lots of good D&D, feedback from people that were like, yeah, and it probably brought a resurgence and people blamed.
Yeah. Shout out to my band members. They play that shit. I don't play that nerd crap. I'm not a nerd. I've actually never played it. No one's ever sat down and taught me the rules. I wouldn't know what I was doing anyway, so dragons are boring.
Yeah.
The whole ideology behind dragons are boring.
But yeah, the show had so many, like you said, so many 80s references and Easter eggs and like callbacks to like these movies and shows and songs, and I think it brought a lot of needed attention to those things that, you know, especially because I know you're an 80s kid, like, you know, that probably brought back some stuff for you as well.
I was like 5 years old when the 80s ended. I don't remember. The only thing I can tell you about the 80s that I can clearly remember is that you could smoke in the grocery store. Because I remember my mom smoking in the grocery store, and I remember like smoothies or like the icy machines and shit like that were in like Kmart. But like I grew up in the 90s. I was a little kid when the 80s ended, so I couldn't tell you anything. I was incoherent at that time.
Okay, I don't feel as bad. You know, being born in the beginning of the 90s. So
yeah, that's all right.
But I feel like they did. It was cool that they decided to like pick the 80s, and it really had the feel, you know, not like every set design, every song choice, everything. It just felt natural. It didn't feel like it was like a forced thing.
No, it didn't. It felt really good. It felt really natural. All the little kids in this season, they did an amazing job. You know, all of them did. Even dipshit Derek. I thought that character was fucking fun as hell. But I think they all did a great job, because they all had like a key element, and they had to convince Holly that she's wrong, and that this You know, they had a whole storyline where all these kids had lines and stuff, and they had like whole episodes, and all of them did a great job, especially when they're down at the very end of the table and they're like throwing stuff around. And she's like, "This is for nerds. I thought you said this wasn't nerdy," you know. And they're, you know, referencing it smells like stale pizza, and that's like a reference to Dustin leaving a piece of pizza behind in the basement, and from the very first episode. So I think that's funny. But no, he didn't leave it downstairs. No, he gives it to Nancy.
No.
He tries to give it to Nancy.
No, yeah, well, he tried. He tries to give it, he goes up to her room, and then she shuts the door on him. He's like, "Man, there's something wrong with your sister." Like, and he said, like, "You remember when she was cool and she dressed up as an elf for our campaign?" And Mike's like, "That was 4 years ago." Like, I felt like he had a crush on Nancy for sure. Dustin did at one point.
Of course. You didn't see him beaming at the end of season.
Sister, why not?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't see his beaming at when he got to dance with her, and she says, "Out of all my brother's friends, you're my favorite." Yeah, so don't do that.
Yeah, we all know he went home with some tissues that night.
Yeah. Jesus.
and a sock.
Oh fuck! What are your favorite like moments? Like, you have a favorite scene or a favorite episode? Like, what's your top moments from all the seasons that you can remember?
You know, I really enjoyed Bob.
Yeah.
You know, season 2, I enjoyed Sean Astin coming on as Bob. He was like that really nerdy, very like, I don't know, just unlikely character to get that heroic arc moment. Where he like ended up, like, I never understood, and I heard this talked about too, is why he stopped like so close to the door.
Yeah.
But he sacrificed himself. He got the arc of being a hero,
right?
From being the least likely person to like, like he did a great job.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that Bob's death in season 2 is sad. But I would say like my favorite part from like season 1 is definitely where Eleven blows the Demogorgon back into the Upside Down. And I think that's my favorite part from season 1. Season 2, oh man, probably where they're fighting in the junkyard, where the demi-dogs and Steve's smacking them with a baseball bat full of nails. The Mind Flayer is super cool. You get to meet Mad Max then, and you get to meet her and her shitty brother. I like season 2 a lot. Yeah. Season 3, definitely 11 ripping that Demogorgon in half, or the fucking Mind Flayer in half. But that whole season was so 80s. Like, even the mall. Did you know that they went in there and they built all of that for the mall? There was none of that mall is completely empty now, but like the Starcourt Mall, they went in there, the production team went in there and built stores, just built them, because the whole show was going to take place in that mall. And I thought that was so cool.
Oh wow!
And they hired hundreds of extras, and just everybody just killed it with, you know, they didn't feel forced, especially like when Dustin and Steve are following that dude who they think is an evil Russian, but he turns out to be like a he's like teaching like a aerobics class, and they play Jitterbug, and he turns around to look at him. Dustin grabs the phone. He goes, "Hello, how are you? I am fine," and then he drops it. And I thought that was hilarious. Season 4, Eddie was a really good story arc. I thought that was awesome. I thought the introduction of Vecna was cool. I did not know what to fucking think when I saw him for the first time sucking the life out of people, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Who is this asshole? And I love that. I love season 4 ending. And then from this season, also from season 4, you got to give it up to Hopper cutting the head off a Demogorgon with a sword. That was fucking cool. That was super cool.
Like the Conan the Barbarian sword.
Yeah, and I guess David Harper fucking stole that thing. He's got it. I think that's cool as fuck.
I mean, I wouldn't blame him.
No, dude, I wouldn't either. I'd steal that. I would steal that in a heartbeat.
Like, the season 4 though, I enjoyed like Vecna's like kills in that episode or that season. I really enjoyed that they brought Robert Englund in to play, with like his eyes missing and stuff.
so cool. It's cool because a girl named Nancy is talking to fucking Freddy Krueger about nightmares. I thought that was a nice touch. I thought it was a really nice touch there.
Right?
That they got Nancy to do most of the talking, so it was like, oh, little Nightmare on Elm Street. They did like a flash to Nightmare on Elm Street 3 this season, which is by far my favorite out of the entire series.
Yeah. I was gonna say too with season 4 with that, like they were just missing Jason at that point because, well, one, Robert Englund doing the whole Freddy Krueger kind of nightmare thing. Then you had Eddie running around in a Michael Myers mask.
That's true.
All they were missing was Jason, and they would have had like the top 3 like slayers of the 80s, you know?
If they would have had a hockey mask even floating in the river when they're go for a night swim, you know, if they had a hockey mask floating there, that'd have been cool. It's like, oh, where'd this hockey mask go from? Even if they were like in a canoe, if they would have been in a canoe and not a motorboat, that would have been cool too. You know? And then the canoe like drops down or tips over.
Right.
Like I would have got that. Right. I was like, oh, ha, that's awesome. No,
you guys find the boy in the lake?
Yeah. But, like this season too, like I loved Dr. K and Hopper fighting in the lab. I thought that was cool. Nancy blowing the shit out of people with a machine gun is always good. Jonathan with a flamethrower. Yeah. Their breakup scene. I don't get why the whole thing was melting and then stopped. That I don't know. I don't understand that. But whatever. I think it was just because they shot. Well, they did shoot it with a shotgun and it didn't explode. So. And then
maybe it like self-healed. I don't know.
I don't know. And it's like it's not even really an element, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like matter. That's a theory.
Yeah, it was exotic matter, is what he called it.
Exotic matter. That is. There it is.
But yeah, it was. No, it's been a good show. Like it. You know, and it's based, like, I've heard it's based on some projects that actually were going on in real life, like the Montauk Project.
Yes.
Which David Hopper makes a reference to that in the very last episode.
Does he?
And there was another project too that had to do with mind control and psychic abilities, and there was stuff going on, like, I mean, that's what my new channel is all about, is like all the strange stuff that I've started. Is there's so much that they're hiding from us in the world.
Oh yeah.
And there's so much weirdness out there, you can't deny it. And all these sightings and things that people go through, like abductions and cattle mutilation and
drop circles and aliens
paranormal experiences. Right, yeah, dude, ghosts and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm down. I want to talk about aliens and shit.
Yeah, for sure. My plan was to have you come on my channel, and we'll have like a whole discussion on any paranormal, supernatural creature you want to talk about. We'll talk about it. I'm actually dropping my episode today on aliens. Just my thoughts on aliens and but my other channel, for those of you who don't know, is called Strange Paradigm. And it's me going through like my thoughts on different supernatural and paranormal creatures and beings and things like that. And like, because I've had my own personal experiences with the paranormal in my life that I could never explain, and nobody would talk to me about it. And so I started listening to these podcasts and other things like recently in the last like couple months, that my mind is just blown with how much is out there and how much people have seen and witnessed, and been watching a lot of documentaries, and it's just wild. And it makes me feel good that I wasn't crazy, you know, like the things that I've experienced. I even experienced some things with a few of my friends that we were all just flabbergasted at, like what happened. We were like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, And so Stranger Things, that tying it all back into Stranger Things, this show just like it shows that you got to be careful. You can't trust the government always. There's a lot they're keeping from us, and they're not always looking out for our best interest, and they threaten people's lives, and they there's just so much wild stuff going behind the scenes that we never know about, and that they keep from us. So
right.
I love what Stranger Things did. I commend them on the show 100%, and I'm so glad that the Duffer Brothers decided to create this series. It's something that I'll never forget.
Yeah, I won't either. It was a very good series, a very good show, and I'm looking forward to what they come out with next, because they've got a lot of projects on the table. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what they got. I know that they were going to do some sort of Stephen King show. If you look them up right now, you can find out whatever they're all up to. Now, there is a spinoff that's coming in, but it's an animated series, so I might not check it out because I'm not one for watching cartoons. Like everybody, like I'm super dork into Star Wars. I love Star Wars. And there's a lot of unanswered questions, and everybody's like, well, just watch the animated series. And I'm like, I don't want to. That's lame.
Yeah.
But I'd rather just watch a movie or a short film. I don't want to watch cartoons.
Well, just wait for someone to do a review on it and then just get the Cliff Notes,
Yeah, that's true, too. Yeah. It's usually what I do if I don't want to see a movie.
So
that's usually what I do if I don't want to watch it. I just go to somebody else's channel and let them spoil it for me, and I'm like, maybe I will check this out.
Right. Well, it was so fun doing this. I'm so glad we got back together to talk Stranger Things and to, grace each other with each other's presence once again. Can you want to tell people where they can find you on Instagram and YouTube?
Yeah, you just look up the Clintonville Slasher and you'll see my face, and I'll be there. I'm the Clintonville Slasher everywhere on all sorts of social medias. If you just look up the Clintonville Slasher, you'll find me everywhere. I did have a what is it called? A Twitter. I had one of those for a while, but I got rid of it because it was boring. But yeah, you can find my Instagram. You can find my band's Instagram too, Plainfield 57. Go check them out. We just played a show. It was ripping and rocking. I had a lot of fun. Yeah, and I've got really nothing in plans right now, but I'm gonna come as they go. I just got Black Phone 2, so that'll definitely probably be my first review. But I'm going to be sticking to the Saturday episodes. I don't know how many Saturdays I'll do in a row, but yeah, I will definitely be in it off and on. So there.
Heck yeah. Awesome. Well, everyone, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for hearing us, gush and rant over Stranger Things season 5.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked out Stranger Things, what the hell you've been doing with your life? Go on Netflix, check it out. Start with season 1, and just plow
ruined
through
all of it for you.
Yeah, if you're watching this,
everything for you.
You're doing what Louis does. You're doing what Louis does when he doesn't want to watch a movie.
No, we just ruined everything. You know what? That seems like a really long show, and I don't know if I have the time to get into that. I thought the same thing, but you got to start from the beginning.
Yep, it's important. You're going to get everything you need. Every season ties together. You can't skip. So go check that out. Go check out Louis on his channel. Mainly, I've been doing it's been a while, but I'm starting my channel, Strange Paradigm. My first real episode drops tonight. My first episode was my introductory episode, talking a little bit about myself. So if you want to watch that, you can. If you skip that and jump right into Aliens, go check that episode out tonight.
You should watch
I'm
the
not doing anything
episode
really else.
because it made me fall in love with you all over again. You just melt my heart. You know that? You melted.
Oh,
Melt the heart. Yeah, watch the introduction video. Don't be an asshole. And then watch the next video. Watch all of his videos.
I appreciate it. Much love from me to you.
Be my New Year's kiss.
Oh, look
Josh.
at that.
Yeah,
All
follow
right,
Josh,
everybody.
follow me. Look up Josh's music, or I'll kick your ass.
No better way to end the show. All right, guys. have a killer one.
Later days.
Later days.